Hey there, everybody. It's Mike DeLisio with another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing. Today, we're going to be taking a look at Waste Nights 2nd Edition. Looks like we've got a post-apocalyptic Sydney here. All right, from Galacta Games, 45 to 180 minutes, 1 to 4 players. It's a big box game. It's quite heavy. There's no distinguishing art on the back besides the front, so let's take a look inside the game here. Here's our rule book. We've also got a lore guide and a Kickstarter guide, so keep in mind that this looks like it's a Kickstarter edition, and so you may see some different components depending on which version of the game you have. We've got our overview and our components here, our game setup, our player setup, both of which look to be pretty significant. Playing the game, we've got some golden rules. Looks like on your turn, the active knight can perform up to 2 different actions. And it looks like you can move, camp, explore, city action, plot action, special action, or pass. And it goes into more detail about each of these different actions that you can take throughout the game. In addition, it shows you your knight sheet overview, so your player card, I suppose, enemies, gear cards, attacking, injury and malfunction cards. And then we've got an overview of threat tokens and an index for the game, as well as a Chronicles sheet that you can put down. Lore guide is essentially, I think, going to just be going into the lore of the game, and all of that goes along with it, but we don't really have time for that. Let's just quickly look at this Kickstarter guide to see what things might be different, but it looks like it adds different events and things along those lines as add-ons. So again, some of what you're seeing here may or may not be in a copy of the game that you might come across, but I'm just going to show off kind of the cardboard. I'm not going to unpunch everything, certainly. That would take too long. This is pretty standard thickness cardboard. I mean, it's not the thickest in the world. It's not the thinnest I've seen either, but it seems like it'll get the job done. There's a number of different tokens here. Kind of small, some of these. I don't always love really small cardboard tokens, but I'll reserve judgment on this till I can see what the usability might or might not be. Here's our large 6-fold board, and I'm going to zoom out as much as I can here, which is there. And I'll just kind of show you here in pieces. We've got a tracker down here. We've got our hex-based board, which is quite extensive. You can kind of see what we're working with there. All right, it's a big board, a lot of spots. We've got books, a bunch of them, all right? Our Book of Tales, which looks like it's going to be where most of the story for this game is going to come from. Our Outback Chronicles here, places to record what you've seen or done, I suppose. Our Spiral Bound guide. All right, so a lot in this game. We've got our different, what are they calling them, agent boards? Is that what they're calling them? Something along those lines. You've got your different characters with their abilities and their stats. All right, but you can kind of get a sense for the graphic design of the game, and looks like there's a fair amount going on here. A lot of different abilities and statistics, and you add in equipment, and you probably have quite a bit going on in this game. We've got ourselves a drawstring bag, screen printed. Looks like my hand fits in there just fine. Looks like we've got some burnt wooden tokens, which I'm going to assume are Kickstarter exclusives. This screams Kickstarter exclusive to me. Okay. Carcassville. Doesn't necessarily sound like a place you'd want to stop on vacation, but okay. We've got a number of plastic components that I imagine are Kickstarter upgrades to upgrade the cardboard tokens that look like these that we've already kind of looked at. So you can see some Kickstarter upgrades there into the plastic. And we've got player aid cards for combat. All right, and your turn. And then we've got vehicles, looks like. A bike, off-road, sand buggy, muscle car. So there's a lot Hey, Harry the Camel. That's pretty legit. There's clearly a lot going on in this game. It looks like it's going to be a fair amount to do on your turns. Let's look at some of these dice. They appear to be custom dice, etched. All right, custom D6s, so those are nice. Kind of hefty dice. They feel significant. We've got a whole bunch of cards, but we also have some minis, so let's show off these minis. This is, I'm going to just show you here, and then I'll take the biggest one out so you can kind of get a sense for some of the detail here. I'm not going to lie, this gives me a very, very heavy Game of Thrones vibe. I'm assuming that maybe they were going for that. But if not, that's definitely the vibe I'm getting from it. I'm betting these are the different characters, the player characters. Take one of them out so you can kind of get a sense for the level of detail. If you're a painter, that might appeal to you. All right, and then finally, it looks like we've got a whole mess of cards, so I'll show off some of those. Not all of them, because there are hundreds of them. And we just need to kind of get a feel for what the game looks like, and iconography and the card design. There's quite a bit of small text, and for me, that can sometimes be an issue, but your mileage may vary. This is they're kind of going for the horror vibe in my mind. It's kind of like the gruesome kind of post-apocalyptic. You know, sometimes that can be, you could do that theme in a almost, I mean, it seems silly to say lighthearted post-apocalyptic theme. So maybe I won't say that, but I guess some lean into the actual terror of what a post-apocalyptic what's the word experience. Experience is the word I'm struggling to find. This is going for a pretty horrifying experience. All right, we got our different equipment and weapons, stuff you might need to get by in what looks to be a pretty hazardous world. All right, well, ladies and gentlemen, I think that gives us a pretty good idea of what you're going to find inside the box of Waste Knights 2nd Edition. Thank you for watching another Dice Tower Daily Unboxing.